unsettling album artwork, chaotic track lists, and releases that feel completely abandoned or barely visited at all. Who doesn't love the mysterious backrooms of Bandcamp and all it has to offer? Today, you and I are going to be exploring 10 strange albums hidden in the depths of Bandcamp, and buckle up because we have some real bizarre material to take a look at. From albums consisting of only 1-second songs to a soundtrack for the ultimate arts and crafts department store experience, to even an album made by ex-Nickelodeon star Josh Peck in the year 2038. Yeah, we're getting a bit crazy today. Also, please feel free to get involved with this as well. Let myself and others know in the comments below of any other weird, bizarre, or strange albums we should all check out. I would love to make a follow-up video to this one or a part 2 or something. If this is your first time here and you love exploring fascinating music, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn all notifications on, hit the like button, you know the deal. It helps the channel out so much these days, and I cannot wait to have you back for the next deep dive into obscure and interesting music. Number 10, Casino Master, Bonus Spin, Good Luck. At just over 13.5 minutes long, Casino Master's 2014 release of Bonus Spin, Good Luck takes all the sights, sounds, and bad decisions of a late-night street-side casino, squishes it into a ball, and throws it right at your face. Located in the TKX Vault, a label subcontracted by Dream Catalog, one can only assume that this is possibly just another one of the many early aliases of the label's owner, HKE. For those who don't know, producer and label owner HKE has created musical works under many different names over the years, far beyond what he has just done as HKE or alongside Telepath in the legendary 2814 collaboration, and Casino Master is just another one of those musical projects out there that many don't know too much about and just believe it's him as well. Discovering this release on Bandcamp really feels like you're stumbling into an alluring casino way past its normal hours. I mean, how can you resist those colorful lights, free drinks, and the possibility of hitting the jackpot? Besides the fact that the artwork is literally the entrance of a casino, and even before we talk about the music itself, the tracklist alone feels like you're looking down a seemingly never-ending row of slot machines and pachinko machines. 18 quick tracks filled with Japanese characters, symbols, and exclamation points. I think I might walk on in myself and try my luck at some craps, maybe treat myself to a cigar in the lounge, or come on, how about playing some of those sexy slots? Musically, it's an audio collage of different casino and arcade samples, and upon my first listen of this album, I was pretty shocked to see afterwards that it was only 13.5 minutes long, because it definitely feels longer than that with the massive amount of sounds constantly being thrown at you. Also, certain songs reusing samples makes it feel like you're just walking around from machine to machine, hoping for the best. The songs really don't layer any samples on top of one another or use the common practice of what I like to call reverb overload to give it that grand, expansive feeling. So it really gives off this lonely, late at night vibe you can taste right on the tip of your tongue. All in all, I found this release to be very enjoyable. The sounds tickle your ears and they're almost addictive in a way. Let me know if you win anything, will ya? Number 9, Robustum, Public Broadcasting Service. I don't remember the PBS logo looking so fuzzy and distorted. Maybe we should turn around. Houston producer Robustum and his 2019 release of Public Broadcasting Service explores, you guessed it, PBS programming and other children's related programming in various ways and forms. And how is this done exactly? One track is an acid trip-like rework of the Dragon Tales theme song, and I don't think I want to go down to Dragonland anytime soon after that looping fever dream. No thank you. Or how about throwing the Thomas the Tank Engine theme song tripping out in this weird reverse-like fashion, or bass boosting the music of the Teletubbies, or how about my favorite, a musical exploration of Big Bird being told his neighbor died and further learning about the process of death as the haunting off-pitch Sesame Street theme slowly creeps up in the background. With only a handful of people having this in their collection, this is one of those releases on Bandcamp that make you feel as if you've stumbled upon some company property or unauthorized hard drive or something a folder of files ordered by PBS to be erased forever that were somehow archived by an ex-employee. It's a really creepy vibe that a platform like Bandcamp can provide so well. Ultimately, the 12 tracks on this album use varying forms of sample manipulation to create unsettling, classic vaporwave-inspired atmospheres. I'd check this album out if you're maybe a fan of lost media, the lore with all of that, or you're just curious to see what your nostalgic memories look like after they've clocked out of work. Number 8, The Darkest Future, Untitled. A quiet assassin lurking in the night, and you're its targeted prey. Another alias of HKE, The Darkest Future explores some very suspenseful yet cool and collected musical tones with this 2015 release that really doesn't have a name. Most people just refer to it as Untitled, a choice further backed by the tracklist. The best way to sum this album up is that it feels like you're sneaking through the cluttered CEO's office of some evil corporation. It's late at night, and the distant Hong Kong traffic miles below makes you forget that you're even in a big city. You try to not get detected, but you sometimes can't help but bump into things. Track 3, for example, sounds like some Japanese alarm clock or something you hit with your foot that you're trying to turn off so you don't alert the guards. I don't know. The tracks are definitely calm for the most part, yet there's always this feeling someone is trying to lure you into some sort of trap, and I don't think you want that to happen. This release picks and chooses from the plate of HKE. You know the menu with this dude. Meditative drone work, textural laying, weird sample chops, and the constant thought in the back of your head that he might have made this as just another slap in the face, a commentary piece on musical perception and what we find, let's say, mysterious or abstract when he shatters the tone by introducing that Trolls 2 sample in track 9. But hey, that concept itself is also pretty abstract, so I don't know. You could just end up going in a big loop with these things. Ultimately, this album has an uninhabited feel, all while just having enough character to give it a body. It doesn't just float off, and it is a pretty enjoyable listen. Check this album out in the wastelands of Bandcamp if you want to visit the void. Also, real quick before we continue, many of you know it is my dream to be able to one day do YouTube full time. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to my Patreon page. I have a bunch of cool exclusive rewards and benefits for those who join, from your name in the credits of my videos to our member-only Discord server, Club Chennington, where we talk about all things music production, video ideas, and much, much more. I'm always hanging out in there, and I would love to have you join the family. Number 7, no friends online. Welcome to the craft store. Tired of your boring, drab home? Are you in need of some major redecorating? Then why not take a trip to the craft store? We have thousands of home decor options that can further elevate your theme or style. While you're here, why not pick up some crafting supplies? We carry many of the nation's leading brands of craft paint, unfinished wood, and more. On the Bandcamp page for Welcome to the Craft Store, Spencer Nilsson puts it right on the money with Vaporwave/Mallsoft is inherently nostalgic, but this album is extra nostalgic for me. I don't know about you, but I'll always vividly remember going back to school shopping for pens, pencils, those 5-star spiral notebooks, you know the whole nine, and always strolling down the aisles and aisles of cool, colorful supplies, shiny markers, and those big old styrofoam balls you tried to throw at your brother or sister when no employees were looking. But hey, you know the deal, no playing around. You were just there to get whatever was on sale to do the job for the school year and go on home. No more staying up late, because tomorrow was that first day of school. Welcome to the Craft Store is a really solid and niche setting based Mallsoft album released back in 2018. You can find this little cozy gem in the back catalog of the Geometric Lullaby label. Many of you know it's one of my favorite labels in the entire game easily, and as in usual Geometric Lullaby fashion, the cassette release of this album looks gorgeous. Littered with fake flowers, a delicious OB for the packaging, gotta love it. Just another one of those beautiful physicals on that label I wish I knew about at the time of release, all now long sold out. This album feels as light as a feather, faint and simply there to accompany you during your shopping pleasures. Sexy saxes, commercial jingle synths, flaky snares. The formula for Mallsoft's success is pretty obvious, but having it with that added niche charm of a craft store works so perfectly for me. We hope you have enjoyed your shopping experience at the craft store. Better savings every day. Number 6, Vision of Death, Entry 1. This is one of those Bandcamp pages you stumble across and immediately think to yourself, am I even allowed to be here? This 2016 release by an artist whose name translates to Vision of Death is nothing more than a growling, bellowing drone release that merely lasts about 10 minutes long, but the vibe this whole thing gives off is very well done, if you ask me. The one song on this release translates to April 16, 2001, Shinjuku Fantasism at dusk at the doll shop. And I'm assuming that eerie-looking doll is the one we're here to share some time with today. Just you, myself, and this inanimate entity in the stockroom of the abandoned, rundown antique store in the lesser-traveled parts of your town. How did we end up here? I'm not sure either of us know, but I think it's best we just don't make any eye contact and find our way out of here as soon as we possibly can. With a Bandcamp description containing nothing more than a single question mark and absolutely no one having this in their collection, let alone any reviews being there either, I have never felt more alone when listening to something on Bandcamp. Simple, dark drone work, elevated with the unsettling vibes of misfortune. Let's get out of here before we wake this thing up. Number 5, 1 Second, a compilation album. This 2018 collaborative project is one of the most interesting and experimentally structured releases on Bandcamp that I've ever heard of. 1 Second, a compilation album features, you guessed it, 120 songs that are only 1 second long each. This 2018 release features tracks from a bunch of familiar faces, including Vape Error, Mesh, Fire Tools, and many, many more. Released on the New Motion label, 100% of the proceeds from the project went to EarthSave, a non-profit educational organization promoting awareness of the environment, ethical and health consequences of our food choices. I remember when this thing was dropped after being in the works for a while, and it was really cool seeing all these individual sounds make up one gigantic 2-minute adventure. I like to think of these micro songs as the musical equivalent of a WarioWare game, each track completely different from the last, all trying to cram in an artist's style and taste into a single second that I'm sure was much more easier said than done. How could you showcase what you are all about in a single second of sound? This awesome artwork along with the minimal looking cassette looks real nice, and I hope to see more weird motions made towards unconditional track lists and songs come to life in the Bandcamp realm. Check this out for an audio-induced sugar rush. Number 4, Lick Nand, Forever Bastard Child of Your Angel Meat. North Dakota producer and visual artist Ellie Void explores a multitude of cruddy and weathered trance-based styles on the 8-track cyber grunge drop known as Forever Bastard Child of Your Angel Meat. The album sounds exactly like the album looks. A wacky, acidic rave dumped into your ears with bubbly production, distorted and overblown instrumentals in the forefront, and thumping power kicks buzzing with electricity. And it's not overblown entirely. Some tracks are more minimal than others, providing nice breaks between tracks like the tracks Barrion and 68945.wav. A melting Macintosh, sour fonts, and outdated computer art, all feeling like the kid next to you in computer class has no idea how to work KidPix, so he's just throwing a bunch of brushes and stamps to make this half-assed rebellious masterpiece. I love it. A really fun take on techno and trance, Lick Nand gives you a first-class ticket to a psychedelic alien mothership for the rave you've always wanted to lose your mind at. Number 3, Depression, the Blue Album, and the Pink Album. One of my favorite narratives to explore in Vaporwave is the darker side of Mallsoft. For the most part, many listen to and know the Mallsoft genre for having this hopeful, overly angelic, reverb-filled high that has you recalling the sights and sounds of large department stores or malls from a time lesser owned by the internet. It's a memory easily spawned in your mind when listening to Mallsoft classics like Pall Mall and Yes We're Open that gives us those nostalgic butterflies upon first listen, and for many, many more. However, there also exists a more empty, distant, and vacant aura artists like to explore in the Mallsoft sound, and these two releases by an artist who goes by the name of Depression are some of the best releases that do so. The Pink Album boasts 64 tracks, with almost all of them residing under the 1 minute mark. You can find her on the Geometric Lullaby label, accompanied by her brother album, the Blue Album, which contains only 12 songs, yet no song is shorter than 5 minutes long. Having both albums to play back to back with one another is a great plus and really allows you to spend some time with a much more unsettling Mallsoft experience than what we are used to seeing. The artwork used for these covers feature worn down shops and stands, deteriorating ceiling panels, and other related objects lying on the floor. This clear as day message to the death of an old, widely accepted form of consumerism culture. The album traverses the common routes of Mallsoft production. However, its sample choices and lack of that overly shiny and cloudy reverb makes it feel like less of a booming mall from back in the day and more of a place that has been shut down for many years. A way to go exploring an abandoned mall, all from the comfort of your very own headphones. What's better than that? Number 2, Wavekiller, Death Eternal Sleep. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. This looks eerily similar to Death's Dynamic Shroud's 2015 mega classic, I'll Try Living Like This. And you are definitely right, my friend. Inspired by a number of works, including I'll Try Living Like This, Wavekiller's Death Eternal Sleep awaits you on this fluorescent overload of a Bandcamp page. 13 tracks with one being over 15 minutes long, the album demonstrates some awkward and uneasy sample chops and stuttering to deliver something similar to that DDS formula. There are a variety of different genres and the samples used on here. One song in particular goes from lounge-like tones to even a Beatles Revolution No. 9 sample. That 1 15-minute track I was talking about has this really emotional sample used that I love a lot. Easily one of my favorite moments from the album. You got some echo jams on here too. All in all, a nice variety of bent and twisted sample work with a lot to choose from. Another release that doesn't show any fans or reviews or anything on the page, Death Eternal Sleep really feels dormant due to its lack of visitors. Go on and give it a visit. Hopefully it won't bite too hard. And finally, number 1, Millennial Dream Corp, Drake Josh, Josh Drake. It's the year 2038. Liquid capitalism floods the American landscape. Multinational corporations forge and engineer memories. Virtual bread and circuses profiteering on nostalgia pacify the lower class by selling revisit kits that allow consumers to relive past moments in their lives. Enter Josh Peck, former child star of the hit Nick show Drake and Josh, except things aren't so sunny as they used to be. We find him here, lying in the catacombs of his studio apartment miles above society's lower class, reflecting on a life that once was real, now only spoon-fed to him through technological means we just can't fathom in our current time. This, my friend, is the world of Drake Josh, Josh Drake. 30 tracks featuring pitched-down studio audience laughter and moments from the show give us the recycled product Millennial Dream Corp brings to this dystopian world of the future, a packaged, virtually canned meal to ease the pain. The album heavily plays on the consequences of overly romanticized memories and gives us a dark, alternate world showcasing those who do not live life for any new experiences whatsoever. It's weird, it's dumb, it's cheap, it makes you feel really itchy, and I love the damn Game Boy Advance artwork like I'm finding this thing in the $5 bin of leftover video games from the previous generation of consoles that the store you're in was never able to sell. This thing has been given 2 cassette runs as well, both sold out, and it's obvious to see why, as I'm sure many of us have a pretty tight nostalgic connection with old Nick shows from the 2000s. This thing feels like another piece of lost media, a whole reboot of the show that was canned only to be rediscovered on an audio cassette. A mishmash of wonky vapor trap selections and slowed down classic vapor work, peppered in with the broken and overly noisy cast dialogue make an uncomfortable listen, but I'm sure that's just another goal this album sets out to achieve anyway. A once lighthearted Nick show turned rotten and cruddy is an experience any 2000s television watcher should definitely go through at least once, only to come out on the other side and say, what the hell was that? Like I said earlier, please let me know in the comments below of any other weird or strange albums out there. Trust me, I check everything out in the comments and I cannot wait to see what you all leave for me. Happy listening, stay weird, and enjoy getting lost in the world of strange music. We'll talk soon, alright? Much love, your boy, Pad Chennington.